They say some places are born bad, steeped in a darkness that seeps into the very soil. Blackthorn Manor is one of those places, perched on a lonely hill. It looms over the nearby village like a vulture, a skeletal silhouette against a perpetually bruised sky. Down in the village, the locals speak of it only in hushed tones, their words laced with fear. They talk of a curse, of a shadow that clings to the rotting timbers of the old house, a hunger that never sleeps, and into this web of whispers and warnings walks a stranger. His name is Edgar, a man with a restless spirit and a dangerous curiosity, drawn to the chilling legends of the manor like a moth to a dying flame. He's come seeking answers to a story everyone else is desperate to forget. The air grows colder as Edgar leaves the last of the village cottages behind. The path to the manor is overgrown, a twisted ankle of roots and thorns that seems to fight his every step. The house itself is a monument to decay. Its windows are like vacant eyes, staring out from a face of peeling paint and crumbling stone. A wrought iron gate, rusted and groaning, swings open as if inviting him in. He hesitates for only a moment, then steps onto the grounds. The world seems to fall silent here. The chirping of birds, the rustle of wind in the trees, all of it is gone, replaced by a profound, unnerving quiet. The massive oak door, scarred by time, isn't locked. With a deep, guttural creak that echoes like a moan, it swings inward, revealing the darkness within. Stepping over the threshold is like crossing into another world. The air inside is thick and stagnant, heavy with the smell of dust, damp, and something else. Something faintly sweet, like wilted flowers on a grave. Sunlight struggles to pierce the grime-caked windows, cutting weak, hazy beams through the floating dust motes. A grand staircase sweeps upwards into shadow, its banister draped in cobwebs as thick as cotton shrouds. To his left, a vast drawing room sits frozen in time, its furniture draped in white cloths that look like ghostly figures in the gloom. Edgar's footsteps on the warped floorboards are the only sound, each one a loud intrusion in the suffocating silence. He feels a prickling sensation on his skin, the distinct and unpleasant feeling of being watched. He moves deeper into the house, his heart a steady drum against his ribs. The silence begins to play tricks on him. A flicker of movement in the corner of his eye reveals nothing but a shadow stretched long by the dying light. Was that a whisper, or just the wind sighing through a broken pane of glass? He pushes open a door to what must have been a dining room. A long table is set for a feast that never happened, plates and silver coated in a thick layer of gray dust. A single wine glass stands pristine in the center, as if waiting for a guest. As he turns to leave, the door to the room, which he had left wide open, slowly creaks shut behind him, the latch clicking into place with a definitive finality. The hair on his arms stands on end. This is no trick of the wind. He is not alone. Testing the handle, he finds the door is now locked. A cold knot of fear tightens in his stomach. He's trapped. He calls out, his voice swallowed by the oppressive quiet. There is no response. He scans the room for another way out and sees a small service door, partially hidden behind a rotting tapestry. It leads him into a series of narrow, dark corridors, a maze of servants' passages that snake through the guts of the manor. The feeling of being watched intensifies, a constant pressure at the back of his neck. Faint whispers seem to drift from the walls themselves, formless and indistinct, like the sighing of a soul in pain. He passes closed doors, his hand hesitating over each knob, wondering what horrors might lie behind them. He can feel the house breathing around him, a living entity aware of his every move. Finally, one of the passages opens into a large, two-story library. Bookshelves stretch from floor to ceiling, their contents ravaged by time and neglect. Books lie scattered on the floor, their pages swollen and warped. But despite the decay, there's a sense of forgotten knowledge here, a silent history waiting to be read. A large portrait of a stern-faced family hangs above the cold fireplace. Their painted eyes seem to follow him as he moves about the room. It's here, tucked away on a lower shelf, behind a row of crumbling encyclopedias, that he finds it. A small, leather-bound volume, different from the others. It isn't a printed book, it's a diary. The leather is cool to the touch, and as he opens it, the faint scent of lavender and sorrow rises from its pages. The diary belongs to a woman named Ilara Black. Her elegant script, though faded, tells a story of love, betrayal, and unspeakable tragedy. She writes of her family's obsession with the occult, of their discovery of a strange, dark artifact, a small, obsidian music box, said to hold immense power. Her father, consumed by greed, tried to harness its energy, but instead, he unleashed something terrible. A malevolent spirit, ancient and hungry, became bound to the artifact and threw it to the house itself. The diary chronicles the family's descent into madness and despair as the entity turned them against one another, feeding on their fear and sorrow until it had consumed them all. Illyra's last entry is a desperate plea, a description of a cleansing ritual, her final hope to free the spirit and her family's tormented souls from the prison of Blackthorn Manor. The diary speaks of a secret chamber, hidden behind the fireplace in the very library where Edgar now stands. He examines the cold hearth, his fingers tracing the intricate carvings of the mantelpiece. He finds a loose stone, just as Illyra's words described. Pressing it, a section of the stone wall groans and recedes, revealing a dark, narrow passage spiraling downwards. A wave of freezing air rushes out, carrying with it a sense of profound despair. Taking a deep breath, he follows the steps down into the earth beneath the house. The passage opens into a small, circular stone chamber. It's an altar room, and there, sitting on a stone pedestal in the center, is the cursed artifact, the obsidian music box. It seems to absorb the light, a void of pure darkness that hums with a low, dissonant energy. As Edgar approaches, the whispers in the house grow into a cacophony of agonized voices, screaming, pleading, and crying. The air crackles with unseen power. A shadowy form begins to coalesce in the room, a swirling vortex of anger and pain. Spirit. Following the diary's instructions, he begins the ritual. He has no silver, no holy water, only the words Illyra wrote, and the conviction of his own will. He speaks to the ancient words of binding and release, his voice ringing with a strength he didn't know he possessed. The spirit shrieks, lunging at him, a tempest of cold fury, but he stands his ground, his focus locked on the obsidian box. He places his hand upon its cold surface, pouring all his intent, all his empathy for the suffering trapped within, into the final words of the ritual. A blinding flash of white light erupts from the music box, forcing Edgar to shield his eyes. The screams of the spirit change, the anger and hatred dissolving into a final, long sigh of release. A gentle melody, clear and pure, tinkles from the music box for just a moment before it falls silent. Then, a profound peace settles over the chamber. The oppressive cold vanishes, replaced by a neutral stillness. The malevolent presence is gone. Exhausted, Edgar makes his way back up the stairs and through the manor. The house feels different now. The air is light, the shadows are just shadows, and the silence is no longer threatening, but peaceful. As he steps out the front door, the first rays of dawn are breaking over the horizon, bathing the old house in a warm, golden light. The curse is broken. Blackthorn Manor is finally at rest. Leaving the now quiet house behind, Edgar walks away, the rising sun at his back. Thank you so much for joining me on this chilling journey through Blackthorn Manor. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Edgar's adventure. Until next time, stay curious.